I look at the whole report, but I only highlight things that jump out to me that would preclude you from doing a deal as fast as humanly possible. That's what that jumps out at me over doing this for many years. So when I highlight it, and those three sections, L, M, and N, if you're making no cold calls, that's not a red flag, that's a death flag, okay? Now in the first week, I'm not suggesting you don't make full, for the first report. It's kind of understandable because most of you are still getting your head out of your ass, what am I gonna do, blah, blah, blah. But if there's no cold calls the second report, that's a death flag. Because no matter what you're doing, you should be making some cold calls to build your board, whatever. If you don't make cold calls the third report, I'm gonna send you razor blades so you can cut your own throat. And if you're not by the fourth, then I throw you out. When I say weekly, I mean it covers a week. It's not due every week. It covers a week. That's why I call it a weekly report. But then, just like you just asked me, to you that means it's due weekly, but it's not due weekly. When I'm traveling, they're not due. When I'm giving a seminar, like yesterday was Sunday, I got no weekly reports. They're not due. Now, another comment. Some people give me daily reports. Now I'm not suggesting this. I'm just telling you what some of the kids do. There's no guarantee I read the daily reports. There's no guarantee I don't. But I don't hold you accountable for fucking up on daily reports. I hold you accountable for fucking up on the weekly report that's due for a week. Some of the kids send me daily reports as a habit for themselves. I've got reports from guys that came to the seminar 15 years ago that I still get reports from. And then they think when, they'll be sloppy and they'll do a report and they won't follow the format. And I will look at that one and I'll say, I still look at these asshole, Even though they're not due from you, don't send them to me if you're just gonna jerk around. Oh, yeah. But we have kids that give me, send daily reports. There's no guarantee, same email address, but they do it because it's a good habit. Some people send the reports every week, even though they're not due, because they wanna get in the habit. Because there may be 2 or 3 weeks that I'm traveling, whatever, that there's no report due, so that's all right. You can send them to me, and I look at all of them, but I may not read it thoroughly, but I look at it. And normally what I look at, what am I not telling Dan? And there's 3 sections in the report. The letter L, the letter M, and the letter N. L, M, N. L, M, N are the things that I hone in on because that's cold calls, time wasted or time that you didn't think you wasted, and how did I scare myself? I look at those. And remember, when you ask me a question, 3 answers. Your best answer is the first answer, your second best answer is the second answer, and the third answer is the third best answer. And then if none of those are correct, then I'll put the right answer, or I'll highlight. A lot of times, part of the first answer and part of the third answer are the right answer. So I'll highlight it, in green. And whether I use green, yellow, purple, pink, the color doesn't matter. It's just the fact that I'm highlighted it. And at the top of the report, it says see below, and then you follow down. I look at the whole report, but I only highlight things that jump out to me that would preclude you from doing a deal as fast as humanly possible. That's what that jumps out at me over doing this for many years. So when I highlight it, and those 3 sections, L, M, and N, if you're making no cold calls, that's not a red flag, that's a death flag, okay? Now in the first week, I'm not suggesting you don't make full, for the first report. It's kind of understandable because most of you are still getting your head out of your ass, what am I gonna do, blah, blah, blah. But if there's no cold calls the second report, that's a death flag. Because no matter what you're doing, you should be making some cold calls to build your board, whatever. If you don't make cold calls the third report, I'm gonna send you razor blades so you can cut your own throat. And if you're not by the fourth, then I throw you out. And there's a timeline at the bottom, which if you're at the head of the class, you should be meeting. The head, not just the head of this class, the head of the classes that I've kept track of. We're getting a chairman, getting a board, getting accountants, getting lawyers, warming up banks. And it's all the new structure, the structure you're following is to close a deal within on the 88th or 89th day, which is the last 2 days of your 3 months, which we've had, okay? But now I'm holding everybody mandatory, that they do it. And when you went to school, now you didn't go to school, so I can't ask you. But for those of you who went to school, you have a test on Friday. When did you start studying? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday morning.
the day before.
Okay. Well, this is no different. When I give you a long time, you take a long time. When I give you a short period of time, you get the shit done. You get the shit done. Yes, sir.
Could you explain again where we can find the deals?
The site?
The websites yesterday.
Which website? Remind me again.
Government.
Oh, ukgovernment.org.uk is there. I don't know how to say it in German, but there's a German one for government contracts. There's one for U.S. government contracts, and there's 5 or 6 different sites for the U.S. because they're bidding for various departments, Department of Defense, health, energy, etc. The UK, as I told you, has at least 1 million contracts. And the good news is now, before contracts used to be let 4-6 times a year. Now contracts are given out daily. You got to get on the approved list. And when you get on the approved list, you will then, even if you haven't bid a contract, let's say you're looking at energy and you're looking at petroleum products, and they will have let 25 contracts of petroleum products, and then 3 of them will have defaulted or failed or announced to the government they're not going to be able to fulfill the contract. Then as long as you're on the list, then all of a sudden they'll ask you, they'll send you, you want to bid on this, you've got 72 hours. You got 36 hours, okay? And then don't bid if you don't just, you're not throwing shit in the air. So, but if you have done your homework and you've found potential joint venture partners, et cetera, then you get the guy on the phone. I mean, we've got an opportunity to bid 10 million gallons or 10 million toothbrushes or whatever the hell it is, and they say, yes, what price? And so then you enter that price. They only have to accept in the top, it used to be the top 5 bidders. They don't have to take the top best one or the second best, in the top 5. In the top 5 bidders. And so the guys that are used to getting contracts normally are in the top 5. So 60% of the business is going to guys, the good old boy network, that they've been doing business, they know they can depend on. And 40% of the contracts are new. They give people opportunities to see, if you can fulfill the contract. But once you get on that government tit, oh, fuck, the milk is sweet. It's just fucking sweet. I mean, it's just sweet. And there's guys still on the tit that were on the tit when I was on the tit 35 years ago. Still. They have offices, lobbyists now, and all kinds of things to ensure that the governments are never going to do away with that government bidding. And just remember, toilet seats for the astronauts, and there are no toilet seats. $600 a pop. I think they ordered 1 million of them, and there are no. They sit on a rim. Actually, they put a pipe. Well, you don't want to know how they go to the bathroom or anything. But anyway, there are no toilet seats. There are none. And the girls have a harder time getting rid of their urine than the guys, if you know what I mean. When we're on the North and South Pole at night, when it's 40, 50, 60 below zero, you don't get out of your little tent, and even though you don't want to get out to go to the bathroom. So they give you bottles, these plastic bottles, to pee in. And the girls, ask Sally how she peed in that bottle. But anyway, for the guys, unless your dick looks like this, it's pretty easy to pee in the bottle. But it's similar on the spacecraft, except for you real studs, that look like a forearm or look like an end of a baseball bat or a cricket bat. Okay, so do you understand the reports? And there's no excuse for it to being late. There is an excuse if you're going to miss a Zoom call, as long as you notify Thelma before the Zoom call, not after you wake up and you realize you missed it. And don't tell me you have no cell or your battery went dead. Thelma and Kim said, we understand, but Mr. Peña doesn't care. And remember, if you're not, when do we lock them out of the Zoom calls, Kat? How many minutes? 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And if your reports get caught in cyberspace and it's past noon, just think of nooner. But if it's past noon, they're not accepted. And you get 2 strikes, and then you're out. But I'd be lying. I was just going to say, I was going to tell a lie just now. I have a good feeling about this group, but that's a fucking lie.
You're positive, right?
Yeah, well, I'm positive. I'm just hoping that 2 or 3 of you make it, No, but and this seminar was different than the last month's seminar, and we keep on making them better and better. And pretty soon we're only going to have teenagers do the webinars. That's how many we have now. Just teenagers, to shame you, and you should be ashamed. And they think their life has passed them by. They think it's all over when they're 17 or 18. Right? Yep. Don't get all happy on me. Yeah. And they think and we all know that your life hasn't. And then for the old gits, yeah, I see you. Any questions? How come there's still kilts out here? Okay, at 6 o'clock, it's whiskey tasting, I believe, right? And for those of you that can't put your kilt on right, or most of you put them on backwards, there's in there. And for those of you that want to learn how to play the bagpipe, that all happens about 6. And normally you have a few drinks before you try the bagpipe. And then drinks, when are drinks? 7? Dinner's at 8? Something like that, okay. Okay, any questions from anybody? Yes, sir.
You getting drunk with us?
I'm not getting drunk with you. I'll be last to join you.
Not me.
No. I'll be first to leave, but I do stay up later tonight. There's no movie. I know you're all going to miss your movies. But I will after dinner. I'll be in the drawing room. Sally and I'll be in the drawing room having drinks. I don't know. Is BBC still here? Oh. For those of you on YouTube, BBC is here, British Broadcasting Company, filming our Scottish butler and the events. And they're doing a documentary that should be hopefully this year on television. And but anything else?
Quick question. So just going back.
Is this an Okie question?
Halfway.
Okay, go ahead.
So going back to the banks really quickly, I know the process is going to be the same when we approach insurance companies, pensions funds, etc.
Yeah, but when you call the insurance company, you call the PRU, they'll put you through to some goddamn insurance salesman. No. You're calling the PRU and you're looking for commercial lending. Commercial lending. Okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering, is there any specific tips on pension funds, anything kind of an exception on how to navigate, or is it basically?
No, you want the commercial lending, not the private equity, because they have those, not the venture capital, because they have those, not the hedge funds, that they have those. You want the commercial lending officers, or officers, commercial lending. And they're more or less 98% of what the same kind of jargon that you'll use with a regular commercial bank. And they'll be surprised, but the other thing, they're surprised when you call because most people don't. But that doesn't mean that they can't do the deal. I remember calling Allianz years ago. And in those days, not everybody spoke English. So in my best German, somehow I got into the CEO of Allianz somehow, and he spoke perfect English. He says, "Excuse me, sir, we seem to be having difficulty giving you the right person to talk to. How can I help you?" I laughed and I said, "Well," and I told him, he just said, "Okay, I know where to direct you." But now everybody speaks English, so that's not the problem. But years ago, not everybody at the German financial institutions spoke English. Anything else? Okay, kids, thank you very much. Thank you.